suddenly it exploded in your mind. Here it is.
Well, when 9/11 happens, our ministry is nearby. When it happened, I was drawn to Isaiah 9 and 10. I was praying that a particular point in Israel's history that was linking up with this. And at the same time, I found out later that David Wilkerson, at the same time, was led that there's a word for America at the same time, and it was the exact same word, exact same verse. And so later on, I was standing at the corner of Ground Zero, and I noticed an object that drew my attention, that began the unfolding of a mystery that kept unfolding and getting bigger and bigger and really mind-blowing until it got to this, which is an ancient mystery that is behind what is happening in America, what has happened in America, behind 9/11, behind the economic collapse, behind the crash of Wall Street, even that has determined the actions and actual words of American leaders. A mystery that goes back 2,500 years and is a warning of judgment and a call of God, a prophetic call of God.
Now, Isaiah 9 was a judgment call. It was a rebuke. And you pointed out so clearly, the bricks have fallen. Tell us about that. That was a rebuke.
Yeah, what happened was, and this is really the first sign, or one of the first signs of a pattern of national judgment, and that is God removes the hedge of protection after calling a nation and calling a nation, finally to wake them up. Israel had known God, and Israel had turned away from God. So he called them and called them. Finally, he allowed their hedge of protection to be removed. He allowed a strike to come into the land, an enemy to make a strike. It was temporary, it was limited, and it was to call them back. And then there was a grace period when they kind of hung in the balance. But instead of repenting, instead of turning back to God, they made a vow. And the vow in Isaiah 9:10 says, the bricks have fallen, but we will rebuild with quarried stone, hewn stone. The sycamore has been cut down, but we will plant cedars in their place. So they defied God. They said, we're coming back stronger than ever. And so what happened is that seals the course of their nation and of judgment. And ultimately, years later, Israel will be destroyed.
Well, I said this, that the hedge of protection had been taken down, and people said, well, wasn't that a horrible thing to say? Well, I said, this is the first time we've been struck since the War of 1812. We've never had anything like this, and yet, what do we do? How do we respond to 9/11?
Well, well, here's the same exact pattern. Now America has known God, and America is turning from God, and we know that it's turned, and so God is calling. So finally, He allows the same thing, same pattern. He allows the hedge of protection to be removed, an enemy strike. It's limited, it's contained, it's just a warning, but it's a grace period. And at 9/11, remember, everybody flocked to the churches and said, God bless America, God bless America. But there was no real repentance. There was no real turning and saying, have we done something? No turning. And the problem is, the response was the same as ancient Israel's. It was the response of defiance. We're going to come back stronger than ever, stronger than ever.
All the people who were involved in actually building this unbelievable structure. We couldn't be prouder of you. That is what the American spirit's all about. Congratulations.
President Barack Obama thanked workers at Ground Zero for helping to reconstruct the hollowed ground.
The hollowed ground.
The President and First Lady Michelle Obama signed one of the final steel beams that will be added to the tower, which will rise to a symbolic 1,776 feet when it is completed. Construction workers looked on as the President wrote, "We remember, we rebuild, we will come back stronger."
And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.